Hello and welcome back to Wondrous Minds and welcome to Obscura where we discuss lesser known snipers from history. Now, you all know that the northern part of India was at a constant warring state and did not lead to any expedition into the south of India before Alauddin Khilji in the early 14th century. However, the southern part of India faced a relatively lesser conflict at several stages of their history, and in fact, one such period of time was during the Chola Empire under Rajendra Chola. So, in the year 1019 to 1021, Rajendra Chola led an expedition into the Ganges and went and conquered all the way into the Pala dynasty of Bengal. Now, before that, the fact is that the Chola Empire they started as a vassal of the Pandya, or sorry, the Pallava dynasty, and following the decline of the Pallava dynasty, the Cholas rose to power, and they made the Chera dynasty of Kerala and the Pandya dynasty, which by the way is one of the oldest and one of the largest and longest running empires of the world, with mentions of their history from the ancient times to all the way to its rise and fall in the 13th and 14th century. So that dynasty was also made vassal state by the Cholas, and they only faced one major adversary, which was the Western Chalukyas, with whom they were at a constant uh, rise and fall and conquests and wars. And in fact, Rajendra Chola was one of the best fighters of the army of Raja Raja Chola, his father. And following all the wars that happened, he established a rule and he consolidated the rule of Cholas and the empire of Cholas, the imperial Cholas, the zenith of that rule really, and of all the states that he made a vassal and had control over, extend not just in India, in all to the areas of Bengal and also outside India in the southeast of Asia. He had uh, his people, in fact, there as controllers of the navy, controllers of the trade routes. But that's a story for another. In this, we would be seeing how he led a conquest into Bengal and the establishment of a new capital that followed subsequently. So, firstly, why this happened? So, it is said to be that the Eastern Chalukya dynasty, uh, there was a problem, a tussle of succession. So, what happened is the nephew of Rajendra Chola, Raja Raja Narendra, and uh, another um, another prince had a claim over that throne, who was Vishnuvardhana Vijayaditya the seventh. Um, Now, Vishnuvardhana was supported by the Western Chalukyas and also Kalinga, and obviously Raja Raja Narendra got support from the Cholas because he was the nephew of the then king, and so Rajendra Chola sent one of his most trusted commanders, who was also a veteran of the Chalukya Wars, who was Arayan Rajarajan, and Arayan Rajarajan led a conquest. Firstly, they had firmly established the rule of Raja Raja Narendra in the Eastern Chalukyas, and then from there, since Kalinga was one of the states who supported the adversary, he went on and led invasion of the Kalinga dynasty. And then from there, in what is corresponding to the modern day Chitrakoot in Madhya Pradesh, from there they led an assault into the Pala dynasty, who ruled Ganga at that time, um, and defeated them. So that was one of the main, like, and it was all within 2 years that they went from this part, from the south part, all the way to the east, absolute east of India, and they stood before the Ganges and took water from the Ganges and came back. Now, of the states that they made vassals, Bengal was not for a long part a vassal of the Chola Empire, but Kalinga was. And in fact, Kalinga did have a lot of revolts afterwards as well. Um, and there were mainly two conquests of Kalinga, which were done in the later years of the Cholas. After Rajendra Chola, his son fought two wars in Kalinga, did not capture the king, and Kalinga did rule, but they plundered, they took wealth uh, from the dynasty, and also the Cheras and the Pandyas did have some presence. They were vassals of the Chola, but they did remain. And in fact, in the 13th century, when Cholas were almost done, they were declining fast. That led to the rise of the Pandyas. Now, the water that he was bringing from the Ganges, Arayan Rajarajan, he brought water from the Ganges after defeating the Palas, and he met the king Rajendra Chola near somewhere in the modern day Telugu lands, um, yeah, when he was coming back from the uh, accession of the one who he fought for, who was Raja Narendra. And from there, they took their water all the way from the Ganges in Bengal and established a new capital somewhere around 30 kilometers from Tanjore, which was the capital then, the Tanjore, where there is the Brihadeshwara temple established by the father of Rajendra Chola, Raja Chola, and he made this capital, which was Gangaikonda Cholapuram, and which literally means the conqueror of Ganga. And he established a temple, which is also one of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites, which is also named the Brihadeshwara Temple, by the way. And there's also a fun fact to this, that one of the uh, one of the Kannadiga chiefs who assisted and went to Bengal along with the commander who was Arayan Rajarajan, his son established the Sen dynasty of Bengal. So after the decline of the Palas, which was somehow also linked with this, um, the Sena dynasty ruled Bengal for a good long period of time, and it was actually established by a Kannadiga. And this was one of the largest impact that it had. And also, of course, since the Cholas were maritime um, power, and they almost had their supremacy over majority of the part of Bay of Bengal, with this with this conquest, they established their rule firmly on the Bay of Bengal, and no other state even dared to challenge the supremacy of the Cholas in the Bay of Bengal. And that really led to the foundation of what happened 4 years later, which is the conquest of Sri Vijaya, which is modern day Sumatra and those islands, and later on into the Malaysia kingdom, and established a firm rule and firm supremacy of the maritime route of Chola. But that's a story for the next one. Thank you for watching. Hope you liked it. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.